Good morning, everybody. Sam here, United People's TV. The day after the night before, the day after that 2-2 draw against Atalanta, after that goal from Cristiano Ronaldo, you saw my match reaction. Jeez, man, he is the greatest of all time. Nobody questioned it now. But as much as that was a good result overall for Manchester United, we're still top of our Champions League group. Nobody's going to argue about, I mean, people can argue about that, of course, but the writing for me is on the wall with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after another disjointed, chaotic performance from Manchester United. What I'm going to talk about here this morning on United People's TV, we're going to look at the full reaction to everything that's been said after that game against Atalanta. We're going to look at the key points from that game that sort of, as I said, justify me saying that the writing is on the wall for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I spoke to you in great length and great detail after that 5-0 humiliation against Liverpool. It was after that game that I expected Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be sacked by Manchester United. And after that game, we found out in the coming days that Man United simply had not been planning for Solskjaer to be so poor, had not been planning for United to be so poor, and had no plan really going forward without Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that 3-0 against Spurs was the potential for something new. And I was all for it. We saw a switch to a 3-5-2 against Spurs. We saw Manchester United controlling the ball in and out of possession against Spurs. We saw sort of a new look from Manchester United against Spurs. We were like, all right, okay. And we scored 3 cracking goals. So these 3 games were written by many in the media as a stay of execution from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I always considered it a stay of execution. But if it wasn't going to be that, we needed to see continued momentum from Manchester United on that Spurs game, building into Atalanta, going into City and doing it in back-to-back-to-back games. And that, for me, is why the writing is on the wall for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after that game last night. What's your opinion here? Honestly, I know there's going to be a ton of comments flying in from everyone. Try and be measured in your comments. Don't just shout Ole out at me. Simple as that. It doesn't really help anything. Fire in your comments your genuine opinions about everything you saw last night, anything. We're going to be speaking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments on the game. We're going to be speaking about Paul Pogba. We're going to be speaking about Harry Maguire. We're going to be speaking about everything that happened on the pitch. So please fire in your comments as you always do. And of course, we're going to speak about Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I've been doing a lot of reading this morning about the game last night, and there was one piece that really stood out for me, and that was from Jonathan Lou, I think it's Lou. Writes for The Guardian. This piece really is fantastic. I would encourage you. I'll leave you a link in the description now. Read this. There's not going to be a better sort of summary of Manchester United right now than this piece from Jonathan Lou. And there's a couple of particular lines that I want to pull out that we can discuss because, mate, you're so spot on. As I said, the title there, Chaotic Manchester United, remain in thrall to strolling Cristiano Ronaldo. And Ronaldo here has done it against Villarreal. He's done it against Atalanta, home and away. 2 late winners and a late equaliser. He really is Mr. Champions League, isn't he? Mr. Champions League. But look, there's a couple of lines here from Jonathan, and this one here really stands out for me. Manchester United are the hyperactive toddlers of English football, equally capable of moments of startling insight and unfettered joy as they are of throwing valuable household ornaments into the toilet. And it's exactly what Manchester United are right now. We're a team capable of doing brilliant things in brilliant moments, but at the same time, we're also capable of throwing the phone in the toilet, of doing something that makes you go, what? What are you doing? And if these 3 games post Liverpool were going to be any different for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, any different for Manchester United, what we needed to see was something being built on something, step in the right direction. Because there certainly were, I'll be honest, there were definitely a couple of steps in the right direction in that Spurs game. Quite a few. And I was like, wow, okay, that's a hell of a response from Man United. It really was a response from Man United. And then we went against Atalanta and the house crumbled. Everything, the dominoes fell one by one. Raphael Varane going off made us less tight at the back. But even with Raphael Varane in that team, Atalanta were just cutting us open. And it was bad. And if it wasn't for Eric Bailly having an absolutely inspired performance at the back, I think we would have been dead and buried by the time Ronaldo got that chance at the end. So Bailly helping us at the back as much as Ronaldo was helping us at the front. I'll speak about both of those players in a bit more detail. But there's another comment here from Jonathan which really stands out to me as well. And this is kind of how I feel. And I don't like the situation that I think a lot of United fans are being forced into with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, in these contrasting emotions. For Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who has been in the last chance saloon so many times, he knows the bar staff by name and has long since memorized all the questions on the quiz machine. It was another night that felt like it might settle everything, yet seemed to settle nothing. And that is, as I said, excellent words from Jonathan. And it really just sums up everything that's wrong with Manchester United. It was an opportunity to, as I said, build on that game against Spurs. But instead, all the same problems reared their ugly heads again. Manchester United going into that second half, we lost control of the game. Paul Pogba was being pestered out of possession, being pressed out of the game in midfield, didn't work in the midfield too, didn't get taken off at half time. Thought he should have been. Said that at half time. Then you saw Manchester United's defence with Harry Maguire not doing the offside trap, not being able to get back for Zapata. Too much space between players. I'm not going to keep repeating it, but I could keep repeating 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things that happened against Atalanta that we've seen in so many different games before. And there was one particular comment from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'll run through everything he said. One particular comment from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which I think summed everything up. Everything that's wrong with Manchester United. I sent this tweet out after the game. I said, look, Solskjaer said, you cannot question the attitude. We were too sloppy. We gave the ball away too many times, too many transitions. And what I'm saying there, look, I said you could take that quote and attach it to the Villarreal game, the Villa game, the Everton game, the Leicester game, both Atalanta games and the Liverpool game. That's 7 of our last 8 games where those comments would be appropriate. So what we're seeing here from Manchester United, what we've seen from Manchester United for a long time, and what we saw last night against Atalanta was a repeated pattern and the same issues coming. And that's why nobody was getting overexcited by a false dawn. Sorry, not by false. No one was getting overexcited by that game against Spurs. After the Liverpool game, that was the least that they owed fans, but they actually did it, and it was a proper team performance. So I was like, okay, cool, there you go, nice, that's going to be good. But then the same problems came back only a few days later, and that drags Manchester United and Solskjaer back down towards that cycle again. And I don't think it's a cycle that Solskjaer can be afforded anymore. And I swear on my life, I take zero pleasure in saying these things, in reporting these things. Mate, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I remember what happened after Moyes when we lost 3-0 to Liverpool, and that was the moment where I lost it with Moyes. I was like, nah, dead and buried. I think it took around about a month for him to be sacked after that, and that was away when we lost away at Everton. And then Mourinho, I remember I lost it after we lost away at Anfield, and I'm pretty sure he was sacked quite soon after that. Now with Solskjaer, it's obviously been a chaotic, let's be honest, it'll be a chaotic couple of weeks now since the Liverpool game, and I stood firm by the concept that I didn't think Solskjaer was getting another chance with these 3 games. I saw it as a stay of execution. I saw it as Manchester United using Solskjaer as the fall guy and using it to give them time to try and find something else. Conte is not going to be one of those choices now. So I don't know what will come next. And I would say that's probably the reason that Solskjaer hasn't been sacked. The reason that Solskjaer is still in the job is not because Manchester United's board truly believe in him. It's because Manchester United's board have no idea where to go next, have not planned for where to go next. So I don't really think the discussion is about whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked. As I said, the writing is on the wall. And it's painful for me. I do not take any pleasure in doing it, man. All I want to see is United being successful. All I want to see is Solskjaer being successful. But I realised and I accepted after the Liverpool game that simply would not be the case. And then I was willing to, have egg on my face. Absolutely. After that Spurs game, I was like, you know what? Maybe we will. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't realise how close to the brink he could get before reversing it again. And then, boom, straight into that Atalanta game, straight into the same problems that we saw against Villarreal, Villa, Everton, Leicester, Atalanta at home, and Liverpool. Same issues all over again. And that is why I'm saying the writing is on the wall. I'm going to head down to the comments here as I said, keep firing your comments in about last night. You all watched my match reaction. What was your thoughts on that? What were your thoughts on the game, on Solskjaer? Let me go down and see what you're saying in the comments. Jason, you're saying, I think we need to look at Maguire equally on our failings. He is not a leader and far too slow, in my opinion. We need to be brave and drop him. That's Ole's issue. Also, Van der Beek to start, as he gives far more than Fred. Well, the Van der Beek starting story, if I'm being completely honest, I think it's too little too late on that sense. Van der Beek came on last night, played it, it was okay, decent little cameo. But how much can you really look into a performance of an individual in the last 5 minutes of a game when he's hardly kicked a ball? Same goes for Jadon Sancho. I don't think you can really look into either, although both of them played okay. Would you start Donny van der Beek against City, for example? Let me know in the comments there, yes or no. Let me go down here. Save Jungle saying, we need a good interim manager until the end of the season. Any ideas? That's something that I'm going to have to look into that. Because as I said, that's why I did that video last week. And I don't regret doing it, given what's happened with Spurs. But I did a video last week on how Antonio Conte could set Manchester United up. Because I said, look, Man United might not be planning for what comes after Solskjaer, but it doesn't mean that we as fans can't at least think about it and have discussions and try and identify what would work and what wouldn't work. And Conte's obviously gone to Spurs. Fair play to Spurs. I think they'll be a hell of a lot better under Conte than they were under Nuno, and that's a bit of a given. But who could the interim manager be? It's a question I currently now do not have an answer to. I'll be completely honest. A lot of you all think that you would start Donny van der Beek. Well, Josh, I don't think Paul Pogba is going to be starting, considering Pogba is, suspended for the game. T, you're saying Donny in. I don't think Donny's going to start. I'll be completely honest. I think it'll be Freddie McTominay, and I think anybody believing otherwise is just crossing your fingers. I don't think so at all. Gary, you're saying, if someone asks you what sort of playing style or tactics United use, what would you say? I have no idea if we're a high-pressing, counter-attacking, or use the wide men. It's a really good question, Gary. And I'll be completely honest, I don't think United know, because sometimes we press, and then even when we do press, sometimes some players press, and then other players don't press, and then it's why that Liverpool game was so confusing to watch, because you saw Manchester United really trying to go with the press, and then we didn't know what to do with it, and then we got squeezed out of the space. United seemed to try one thing one week, and then revert from it and try another thing another week, and then revert from it and then try another thing another week. It's not as if we're trying the same thing and then trying to get better and better and better at it and squeezing it and improving it and tweaking it. It's like polar opposite. And there is no real definitive style. The definitive style of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer over his course of his time as Manchester United manager is sitting quite compact, sitting deep, and hitting hard and fast on the counter-attack. I think we've even lost that sort of spark. I think we really have. David, nice to see you joining as a member this morning, sir. As always, as I'll say, because David joined as a member, look, I'm doing a giveaway now on the channel. As you can see here, I'm giving away a Ronaldo shirt. This feels pretty appropriate after last night. Giving away this shirt this week. Going to be giving one of these away every single week. Don't worry, it's not from the mega store. As I say every single time, the Glazers are getting no money from me. But it's my way of giving back to you, the audience, because you're the community we're building here. Genuinely, I love it. So if you'd like to be in with the chance of winning that, please become a closer member of the community. Hit the join button on YouTube like David did there, or on Facebook you can hit the support now button, and I'll give it away to one member every single week between now and Christmas. Simple as that. Victor him saying Viva Ronaldo indeed. And hey, look, I'm not the king of negativity. I'll never be the king of negativity. I'm somebody who's quite principled. I'm somebody who publicly made my mind up about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being sacked after the Liverpool game. I'm not now just going to flip-flop, shove it in reverse and say that my mind has changed. My mind hasn't changed. And I was willing, really, really willing, and I wanted it to change, with that Spurs result being the first of it. But it hasn't. We've immediately gone back into the same patterns against Atalanta, and I fear for Manchester United this weekend against Manchester City. And I swear to God, if we do it against Manchester City, there's probably only going to be one reason why we do it. That man there, Cristiano Ronaldo, is a freak of nature. Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest of all time. And I'll tell you what, his exploits so far at Manchester United have been truly sensational. And in the argument of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, it's very hard to decipher between the two after two incredible careers. But what Ronaldo's doing right now, at the same time that Messi's disappearing into the shadows at PSG, I'll tell you what, it's helping put him on another level, because those 2 goals last night, and imagine that pisses me off. After that first goal last night, we're not even really going to have a proper conversation about. We can't really get that excited about it. That first goal was absolutely superb. Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box, back to McTominay, Greenwood. Greenwood then saw the space, back to Bruno Fernandes with one of the most outrageous touches and assists you're ever going to see in football. Laying it on for Ronaldo, who got a lovely first touch, set himself up, and had half the goal to aim to, because Bruno did that back heel pass. Mate, that first goal was absolutely top tier. And we have scored some sexy goddamn goals in the last couple of games. And again, I'd refer back to exactly what Jonathan said in his article there as reference, because it's so spot on. Manchester United are equally capable of moments of startling insight and unfettered joy. We've had a few of them in these last couple of games. All the goals against Spurs, both goals there against Atalanta. Unfettered joy. Amazing to watch Ronaldo still doing it, how he does it. And then it just gets sort of buried in the swamp of the rest of the performance yesterday. And it leaves you frustrated. It leaves you angry. And yeah, I've reached my point of no return with the Liverpool game, personally, as a fan. And as I said, I'm someone who is, I kind of pride myself on my principles. I pride myself on the fact that I'm never going to be somebody who jumps on a train early, tries to shout about it, and then tries to say, "Oh, look, I was right first. Look, it was me. It was me. Give me the credit." I don't care about that. It's not me. People do it. They can do what they want. It's not my style. But after the Liverpool game, I couldn't continue to support in the same way that I was supporting Solskjaer before. And here, Jesus, we've had arguments on here, because you've been annoyed how much I've been supporting Solskjaer. And then my mind was switched. My mind was turned after that game against Liverpool. And I don't really think it can come back. Washington, you've entered the draw, sir. Good luck for you winning the greatest of all times shirt. And as I said, one of these is going to be given away every single week until Christmas. Come on. That's a good reason to join Washington and join David as members of the channel. Look, my first YouTube membership. Look at that, man. Where are you watching from? Nice to have you on board, my friend. Make sure you check out the YouTube community tab. There's a link to the private members WhatsApp group. I'd love all of you as members. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, go into the either supporters group on Facebook. There's a separate group in there. There's a link to the WhatsApp group, or YouTube. Hit the community tab and there's a link to it on there. I'd love to have all of you come in. So please join later. Let me go down here and let me see what you're saying in the comments. Drop Maguire, says Alan. Do you think that Harry Maguire will be dropped against Man City? Type yes or no in the comments. I think we all know the answer, considering Rafael Varane pulled up with an injury against Atalanta. I don't think that Maguire will be dropped. I think Maguire has been absolutely goddamn awful. If we're going to pull up some quotes here, where was it? There you go. Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes said this about Maguire after the game. He said, "I don't know if he's injured or has a hangover from the Euros. It does not look right. He is all over the place." And being all over the place, you are just being polite there. Look at this. We're here looking at, this is the goal. So that's the ball coming over the top. Harry Maguire looking at the man. So he knows where he is. One thing I would say about this with Maguire is he's a little bit unfortunate. He's millimeters away from that being a successful offside trap. That's not the issue. The issue here is, look how far over Eric Bailly is, tracking his man. You've got to sit. It's very simple here. Manchester United just needs to be aware that his man is there. Sure, obviously, you've still got the man really wide there, so Shaw can't come in too close. But Maguire's got to make sure that space, Rio said it on BT Sport, Maguire's got to make sure that space isn't so big. If that space isn't so big, Maguire hasn't got so much ground to cover to make up that space. And because of that, because he just about missed the offside trap, and because he's so far away, Zapata just went through. Zapata just scored, and it was an abysmal goal for United to concede. Jonas, I can see you've entered the draw, sir. Welcome aboard to United People's TV community. Honestly, I love seeing this community get built, man. It's really good fun. It's the most satisfying thing in the world, seeing it properly come together. And there's someone else that joined there as well. Alan, nice to see you there, Alan. So Alan and Jonas, you both entered the draw too. Really good to see you here. Really good to see you part of the community. Eric Bai, getting the fire emoji. And Eric Bai, where is it? Where is that lovely picture of him? I'm saving it for later, but look at that. Look at that. Eric Bai last night. What's your comments on Eric Bai last night? How impressive was he? Eric Bai, we all knew that playing Harry Maguire at 20% fitness was an outrageous decision. Alan, you're watching from Australia. Nice to see you from Australia, my man. Make sure you get in that WhatsApp group. There's a couple more Australians in there. Don't know why I went Australian when I said that. Eric Bai, right? He had every right to confront Solskjaer. This is what reports said anyway. We'll take it with a pinch of salt, whether it's true or not. But Solskjaer, apparently he confronted Solskjaer after that game against Leicester, and said, look, man, why are you not playing me? Why are you playing a 20% fit Harry Maguire over me? And last night made that decision by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to start a 20% fit Harry Maguire against Leicester all the more baffling. Eric Bai, I love Eric Bai, man. I've got nothing but love for him. He's such I don't know how to describe him. He's like a hyperactive toddler. I've just got that in my head because of that article, but it's exactly what he is. But he shows an energy and I don't know how to describe Eric Bai. He's got a lot of characteristics which you really shouldn't associate with a centre back in terms of the slight hot headedness. He's a bit sometimes over aggressive, but when it works, it works. Eric Bai is so athletic that even if he does make mistakes, he has the ability to cover himself with those mistakes. And last night, he did not make a mistake. He put his body on the line. And that's a big, big reason why so many have such an affiliation and affection towards Eric Bai. That block there that he did, threw himself at it. Nemanja Vidic-esque. And he's done that before. Now, yesterday, when Varane went off, Maguire was poor the whole game. Eric Bai was effectively doing two centre-backs jobs. He really was. He was covering so much ground, and he pulled up in that second half, and you were like, oh, my God, Eric Bai's got an injury again. Oh, God, it's happened again. But he didn't. He recovered, and Eric Bai, I know Ronaldo was man of the match. Deservedly so. Of course he is. But Eric Bai was fantastic at the back. And, the thing that kind of annoys me a little bit about that is the fact that if Victor Lindelof didn't get injured in training before the game, then Eric Bai would not have played in that game. So it's a little bit of a fortunate circumstance, the fact that Bai did play in that game. But Bai there, boom, he's got to play in that game against City, right? Against City, it might be a little bit different. He might get pulled a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. But Manchester United were completely pulled. But Bai, man, he was great. He deserves all the credit. And it throws into question that decision from Solskjaer to start Maguire against Leicester even more so. Baffling. Absolutely baffling. Look, before I do move on, there's so many of you watching, a few thousand. Can you please hit the like button? And please, if you would, subscribe to United People's TV. Welcome to the United People's TV community. As I said, it's the most interactive one you're ever going to find on YouTube. Genuinely, I get all of you involved. Yesterday in the United Legacy Arms, you all joined me on screen. It was really good. I kind of said it before the game. It was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be feeling that confident going into it. It was the first game I actually went into with a measure of confidence, and that backfired miserably in my face. And it would have backfired even more so if it wasn't for Cristiano Ronaldo. Liask, I can see you've joined as a member as well, my friend. Well done. I'll join the community, and good luck on winning this. I'm giving that away on Friday. Going to do it in the live stream on Friday morning. So make sure you tune in to see who wins that in Friday's live stream. But what else would you like me to talk about from that reaction to the game last night? There's another individual that I need to speak about. Now, I'm going to be doing a separate video on Facebook on this today. Maybe I'll do it on YouTube too. We've got to talk about Paul Pogba, right? And this isn't a witch hunt. This isn't an agenda. This isn't anything other than speaking about an individual there who was poor. And I've already spoken in depth there about how poor Harry Maguire was, because he was poor. And in any other circumstance, you would probably completely drop him. And how he's playing like that as our captain is staggeringly poor. Staggering that Maguire is our captain and playing like that. But Paul Pogba there, he came Off against Liverpool after getting a red card. After 15 minutes, the most ill-disciplined performance. It was like John Joe Shelby for Liverpool-esque. That's how bad, that's how ill-disciplined it was from Paul Pogba. He was brought back into the team there against Atalanta, and he owed Manchester United fans a performance, a disciplined, controlled, measured performance inside that midfield, and he got done. Paul Pogba, for someone who's so quality, so good at football, he's one of the most least press-resistant midfielders I've ever seen in my entire life. Every time he gets the ball at his feet in midfield and he's being pressed, he seems to take an extra touch just on purpose, like to invite the pressure. I don't really understand it. And Atalanta squeezed him out of that. Atalanta squeezed Pogba out of the game in the first half, and they squeezed Bruno Fernandes out of the game in the second half. Somebody was it Rune? De Rune was just marking Bruno Fernandes in that second half, and it was making it so difficult, so difficult for Manchester United to do anything because Bruno was out of the game. And in that first half, Paul Pogba was so poor. Slap Nick. Gonna slap in. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome aboard and good luck for you in the Ronaldo draw. But look, Paul Pogba, this is what Paul Scholes said about him. He said he's one of them that will get to 35 and be exactly the same. He'll still be doing the stupid stuff where he's stud rolling the ball, holding people off, showing how strong and skillful he is. Now, as I said, I'm not going to put this video up because BT will. I'll slap and tickle. There you go. Because BT will probably slap me down for copyright. But I will do a video on it later. What's your reaction? What's your comments about Paul Pogba? You let me know in the comments below. As always, keep firing in your super chats as well and continue to support the channel. And what you're saying here, sir. Sam, I'm not convinced by Donny. You know that. But he did more in 5 minutes than Paul Pogba did the entire game. That tells us everything we need to know about where Paul is at. Now, I said it in, again, I got this spectacularly wrong. If you join me in the United Legacy Arms, I said, look, the two players to watch out for today against Atalanta are Rashford and Paul Pogba. Now, Atalanta played with a much deeper back three than I anticipated on them playing. Maybe that's kind of took Solskjaer by surprise as well. But Paul Pogba didn't have any chance to be that deep line playmaker that I thought he would be. And Rashford didn't get any runs in behind because the balls weren't coming. But Paul Pogba, as I said, he owed Manchester United fans a performance after that Liverpool game. And as I said in the pre-match build-up show, even if Paul Pogba's got his eye on the exit door and he's leaving Manchester United, he wants to perform in the Champions League. It's the biggest shop window that he can possibly get in. It's the pinnacle of European football. And if he's going to move away from the Premier League, and of course he will if he leaves Manchester United, then he wants to put himself in the shop window. So I thought yesterday that we were pretty much guaranteed a good performance from Pogba. And instead, we got another absolutely lackluster, a performance so bad that I thought that Pogba deserved to be hooked at half-time. That's how bad I thought it was. But he wasn't. He continued it in the second half. And it wasn't just when he was getting pressed, he was getting squeezed out of possession. He was just doing the simplest of things wrong. Just like a normal 20-yard pass straight to Atalanta. And I remember him losing the ball in the middle of the park. And McTominay was about 10 yards further forward than him. But McTominay got back to the edge of our own box quicker than Paul Pogba did. And again, it's not down to passion and work rate and everything. But if you don't have that, then the talent is pointless. The talent gets wasted. The talent just sort of disappears into the wind because you need that work rate as the foundation to make the most of said talent. And Pogba last night, unfortunately for him, he was abysmal. Pogba and Maguire last night, probably the two standout bad performers from Manchester United. I would probably say Maguire was worse, if I'm being completely honest. I think Maguire has been doing this for so long that and Maguire's our captain. When you're a captain of Manchester United, you are held to a different level of accountability, which is why I would put more criticism Maguire's way than Paul Pogba's way. But Pogba there, as I said last night, if we were going to see anything, if we were ever going to see a response from Paul Pogba, it had to be in that game. And we didn't, man. We really, really didn't. Chalex, you're saying Fergie was correct about Paul Pogba in the beginning, a lazy boy. He is a bit lazy. But Berbatov was lazy. Didn't make Berbatov a terrible footballer. He still did what he did incredibly well. And that's the issue with Paul Pogba. He's not doing what he's still capable of incredibly well. And if he was, he'd be afforded that lazy side of his game. But because he isn't, it then gets really exposed and really spoken about by Scholes. He really didn't hold back there. Shaw was bad too. Shaw has been very bad all season. Let's be completely honest. Shaw and Maguire have got some. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, they got to the final Euros. They looked incredible, and both of them looked like poop this season by comparison. Absolute poop. And I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on there. Gaz, you're saying Pogba is finished at Manchester United. Shame we never really got the best out of him. I'm absolutely going to say that as one of the biggest disappointments. If or when, I suppose it's at this point, it's kind of when Paul Pogba leaves. Disappointing when he left Manchester United on a free transfer back in the day. Then it's been up and down and up and down. I think Pogba's been extremely reflective of Manchester United as a football club since he's been back at our club, right? He's had brilliant moments. He's had real peaks, but he's also had huge falls and huge dips. And I think Pogba's really symptomatic of the team and the club that we are. Pogba sums it up better than any other player. The ability to do so much more than he has been doing. And he's done it on occasions, and then he's also not done it on other occasions. It's as simple as that. He's going to go down as a what-if player. A really, really what-if player. And we head down to the comments here. Keep throwing in your comments, ladies and gentlemen. There's plenty of time left in today's show. There's plenty of time to still discuss everything that we've got coming up. And we've got Man City on Saturday. How are you feeling about Man City? Do you think we've got a chance against City? I'll head down to the comments and see what you're saying there. Rajan, you are saying that Maguire was disgraceful. Should hang his face in shame. Hang his face. How can you hang your face but not your head? Will you keep your head up and just like... I know what you mean. Just taking a piss. Putting on the armband is the worst thing he could do. Yeah, I think that's kind of been proven there. Really. Adrian, you're saying Berbatov isn't lazy. Check his stats. He puts in the miles. It's his languid style that deceives the eye. Well, maybe I'm wrong there. But I love Berbatov. And that's not me. I swear to God, that's not a slight on Berbatov. Berbatov was one of my most favourite United players to watch. Just the sheer arrogance of how he played. Like he's smoking a cigar and wearing a silk dressing gown. Matthew, you're saying, do you think that Pogba has one eye on the door? If so, his performances aren't going to convince anyone. He does have one eye on the door, but as I said, it's the same concept of, I always remember Emmanuel Adebayor, every time he was coming up to a contract renewal, playing like an absolute beast because he needed that contract renewal. And then as soon as he gets it, he just goes, play shit. If Paul Pogba's putting himself in the shop window, because he's got one eye on Manchester United, he has to put himself in the shop window. Maybe it's a bit different because he can leave for a free in the summer, so technically he doesn't have to put himself in the shop window. But I'm just surprised, man. Paul Pogba is pissing me off at this point. Alan, what are you saying, sir? I don't know if Van der Beek will ever take Pogba's spot, especially with the McFred favoritism by Ole. I mean, even we all know that he's got that favoritism towards McFred, but when you see that from Paul Pogba, you go, I understand why. I understand. It's not as if Pogba's going to force anybody out of any team with that sort of performance. Donny van der Beek is a different sort of question. Donny, last night, played 5 minutes, the forgotten boys. Donny van der Beek and Jadon Sancho came on. I said it in my match reaction. I was like, what the hell was the point in Manchester United spending 2 years chasing Jadon Sancho to make him a figurine on the bench? It made no sense at all. We chased him with everything we had. And we're just not using him. And it makes no sense at all. Greenwood came on. Cavani came on. We played with 2 inside forwards who naturally cut inside. Cavani on the left, Greenwood on the right. Therefore, we had no width. Therefore, Atalanta could just sit in a narrow shape. Wan-Bissaka couldn't really do much on the overlap because he was getting covered by a wing-back. It was bad. That's exactly where Jadon Sancho could have come in there and done a good job. It's odd. It's very, very odd. Very, very odd. Sancho ran his socks off when he came on. In the last 5 minutes of games, when you're chasing it, everyone's really should be running their socks off. So yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, it's very, very, very surprising. Let me see what else we've got to talk about here. This comment from Solskjaer was a bit weird for me. A little bit weird. Solskjaer and Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm sure the Chicago Bulls didn't mind having Michael Jordan either. And the reason I'm saying that's weird, I'm saying, the Chicago Bulls did not mind having Michael Jordan. And they also did not mind him winning 6 NBA championships, 2 3-peats. So, yeah, they did not mind having Michael Jordan, but they also built success around him. And there's only so far that this Cristiano Ronaldo will go before he goes, you know what? Well, I'm not going to fucking win a thing here, am I? Doesn't matter how good I play. You have to build on your Michael Jordans. You have to build your teams around them. You have to build success around them. And I found that comment a little bit. I know he's not wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, come on now, Solskjaer. Come on. Michael Jordan was winning championships because he was so good and the team was built around him. Let's not just say that Ronaldo's our Michael Jordan when we're not building the success around his qualities. Keep firing in your comments, ladies and gents. As I said, loads of time left today, and there's loads more reaction really to get into. We can take a look at what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had to say, but I'll be honest, I don't really want to. Josh, you're saying Jordan was nothing without Scottie Pippen. If you haven't seen The Last Dance on Netflix, legitimately, it's one of the best sports documentaries you will ever see. The fact that they sat on this on a year's worth of behind the scenes footage in the depth that they've got it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. One of the most enjoyable sports series you'll ever watch. I would encourage you to do that. And no, I'm not getting sponsored by Netflix. That'd be a cool sponsorship, though, Netflix. So Netflix, if you're watching, come on, fire in the sponsorships. Why not? Wait for Ronaldo's last dance to see what he would say about Ole. What like Ronaldo doing like the Jordan in like 15, 20 years, just sitting back with a cigar in his chair going, and then I don't know. Well, I was going to do a Ronaldo impression, but I don't actually know what he sounds like. But that game there, as I said, I take 0 pleasure in writing that. The writing is on the wall for Solskjaer. I take no pleasure in it whatsoever. You know full well that I am a huge Solskjaer fan personally as a player, which makes it more difficult for me to go through this period of watching it all unfold. And I think that Manchester United, because Man United have, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, right? In my opinion, Man United's board have already made their mind up about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think they already know that he's going to be sacked. It's just that they are planning for what's coming next. It's whoever that interim manager could be, or whether they can go and try and get Ten Hag during the season. I personally think this is what we're looking at, because Ten Hag is the obvious, easy to decide. He's the right option, difficult to get. Two different things. He's definitely the right choice on paper. But how can you get him mid-season when he's committed himself to Ajax? Would he do that with Ajax? Certainly when they're doing so well in the Champions League as well. I don't personally think he would. So what would happen between now and the summer then? Do we just stick with Solskjaer and just hope it kind of works out? Or do we get an interim manager in? And if you get an interim manager in, who is that in? That's what I mean. It's there's so many questions, so many open-ended questions with Manchester United right now. But the only certainty I have is that Solskjaer at some point this season will be relieved of his duties as Manchester United manager. I thought it could have and should have been after that Liverpool game, but United didn't have a plan. We're now creating that plan and letting Solskjaer stay in charge whilst we're making that plan. Now, we got City on Saturday. You let me know in the comments now, ladies and gents, what you're feeling ahead of City on Saturday. What's your biggest concern? What do you think the performance is going to be like? Who do you think is going to start? Just fire in your comments and your opinions about that game against City, and I'll try and answer as many as I possibly can. Yasin, you're saying that they're not proactive, Sam. They're desperate for this debacle to continue in the blind hope it goes well. Yeah, they're doing that. And they are just doing that. Just pure blind hope at this point, and also protecting their own egos, because as soon as they sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it shows that Woodward and the board made the wrong decision by giving him a new contract. And that is part of it. I might be actually doing a separate video on that. In fact, I know I am. I'm already building it. That's one of the most sickening sentences I've ever heard. What was the sentence? An acquiescence to the corporate structure and the fact that Conte, an acquiescence means a sort of like acceptance. Yeah, it's an acceptance. So there's like an acceptance behind the scenes in Manchester United that Conte would have jarred against that corporate structure and the power structure at Manchester United, and that was a reason why he didn't come in. I think you can have arguments about whether Conte was the right manager or not in terms of the football he was playing, but if you're having arguments about whether or not Conte is the right manager because he might take a bit of power away from me, says Woodward, that's disgusting behaviour. Absolutely disgusting behaviour. And there was a picture that came out last night from the game, which I want to put up on screen here quickly. Cracking little photo, cracking banner, nicely done in the away end at Atalanta yesterday. Completely true. And we have to remember it. That's not it. The rot does start at the top. Love United, hate Glazer. Simple as that. The rot does start at the top. Nothing will ever be changed at Manchester United, truly change at Manchester United until that changes, until the owners leave and the owners change. Sorry, just checking here, so making the notes right. And yeah, I don't ever want anybody to ever forget that. I don't think anybody ever will forget that. Let's be honest. But yeah, seeing everything that's coming on here with United that's happened post Liverpool and going into this Liverpool game, this City game, sorry, at the weekend, mate, it's a tough situation to be in. Bashir, you're saying that City will probably win 2-0 as part of their master plan is to win, but not hard enough to get Solskjaer fired. I mean, that's okay. Chaddox, you're saying we'll lose the City game anyway. Got Van der Beek, so get Van der Beek and Scholes in. Scholes in? Can we get Scholes in? I'd take Scholes. We brought Scholes out of retirement early, and I remember how much that pissed Pogba off. It was a big reason he left, actually. Get Van der Beek and Sancho in. Let them get some testing and get Lingard in as well. Drop Maguire and drop Paul Pogba. City will win 2-0, says Save the Jungle. RD Man saying, I love Solskjaer to try and get Rashford, Cavani and Ronaldo all up front. Go for a single pivot instead of two. If you're doing that, you're probably playing Rashford on the left, Ronaldo up front, and you're probably playing Cavani on the right-hand side. Simple as that. City will beat us badly at the weekend. Then we'll have the same Monday as last week. Hey, Anthony, I don't want that again. I don't want that week again, man. That week was just... I don't want this civil war. I told you that. This civil war and the United fans. We're all United fans. We all want the same thing. But yeah, it's starting to reach civil war stages. Kieran, you're saying, hi, Sam. How do I enter the Ronaldo shirt giveaway? You've already entered, sir. Because you remember, anybody else who wants to enter to win this bad boy, Bazinga. There she is. You want that after yesterday. Jeez. All you got to do is become a member. As I said, Kieran, you're already a member, so you're entered into the draw automatically, sir. It's my way of giving back to all the members who are helping this community get bigger and better. You can join on Facebook, hit the support now button too. Love to have you on board. Big Sam to the rescue. I don't think the Big Sam's going to be coming anywhere near Manchester United, nor do I want him anywhere near Manchester United. But I don't know that honestly, the interim manager conversation is a far harder conversation to have than our next manager. Because I think it's quite, in my opinion, it's quite easy to have that argument and debate about Erik ten Hag and why he would be the best candidate. But I don't know. I have no idea who would be the best interim. And in that sense, what Manchester United are going to do? Get an interim in or just give it Solskjaer until the end of the season? Maybe they're going to be looking at those and saying, we're just going to stick with Solskjaer. We'll win 3-2, says Tendai. René Mudenstein, Roy Keane, Zidane. Zidane's not going to come in. Why do you think Ole won't play Greenwood on the left as he's ambidextrous? Is it ambidextrous with your feet or is it ambidextrous with your hands? I know what you mean. That way, Sancho can finally play on the right-hand side. It's probably the same concept as why Marcus Rashford shouldn't play on the right-hand side. He could play on the right-hand side, but he's just better on the left. Greenwood could play on the left-hand side, and we have seen him drift over there before. He's just better on the right-hand side, so I wouldn't really want to see him play there. Jonas, nice to see you on board, mate, with your first comment. Thank you for joining as a member, sir. Glazers will not sack Ole until mathematically impossible to get a top four. It's been the pattern with all previous managers. You're right there. That has been the pattern. But can United afford to do that? Considering we're having these conversations. Look, as bad as it got under... when was Mourinho sacked? Was that in December? Oh, look. Yeah, 18th of December. Merry Christmas. We seem to be having these conversations a little bit earlier with Solskjaer, in my opinion. Jonathan, you're saying I don't think we will see an interim manager. Now, this is a really interesting conversation to have there. You type yes or no in the comments. What do you think is more likely? Not yes or no. You can tell me what's more likely. Do you think it's more likely that Man United, say we're getting Ten Hag in the summer, purely hypothetical here, say Ten Hag has been identified by the club as the right man to go forward with Manchester United from next summer. What are we going to do between now and then? Are we going to stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or are we going to get an interim manager in? Which of those two things do you think is, honestly, take what you want out of it. Be subjective. Be objective. Sorry, not subjective. What do you really think is going to happen? An interim manager, or will Solskjaer just keep the job until the end of the season? Nikhil, good to see you there. Joining as a member, you've now entered the draw, sir, for the Ronaldo shirt. Good luck. And Jody, you're saying, sup, Sam? Should start against City, drop Maguire and Pogba. Pogba's already suspended, of course. Get Van der Beek and Sancho in there. He should go out guns blazing. I think he's already gone out, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, guns blazing. But no, I think it'll be Fred and McTominay against City, let's be honest. Super chats for giving actual insight and honesty. Thank you very much, buddy. And also for saying Bazinga. It's a good word, Bazinga, isn't it? Like Bonza. Bonza's a good word. Let me go down to the comments here and see what you honestly believe. Thank you very much for that comment there, Gungshi, by the way. I really appreciate you as a consistent supporter of the channel. All the way, is it Taiwan, I think you're all watching from? So Reds all around the world. I'll bring the map up on Friday as well, as always. So keep firing in your comments, keep firing in your super chats. Just keep supporting the channel how you can. But let me go down to the comments here and see what you think about the idea. Is it going to be an interim manager, or would Solskjaer simply stay until the end of the season in that sense? James, you're saying Roy Keane as an interim manager. Chaos. Not much selection out there for interim, so I think we might be playing the waiting game, says T. Paul, you're saying Ronaldo as playing manager. Could you imagine? My God, Rory, we're all laughing. But, geez. And you're saying, Sam, we will stick with Ole. Got to be easier to bring in a quality number 2 in to support Ole until the end of the season rather than finding a great interim. Well, there you go. That's another potential option. Could United bring in a new assistant manager to try and guide Solskjaer through? But again, who would want to do that? Who would want that job? Do you want to come in, be number 2, just try and basically steady the ship, just be life support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer until the end of the season? It'd be like a weird job to sell. Really weird job to sell. Mo, you're saying we want Ten Hag, but he does not want to come to United. I haven't seen that anywhere at all. But Jonathan, you think that they're going to wait until Poch, in your view? And of course, with Pochettino, with everything that's going on with PSG, there is a chance that Pochettino could be sacked during the season and that Pochettino would be available. Would you want Poch? You let me know in the comments below. Ole until the end of the season, says Matthew. Fergie until the end of the season, says David. I think Fergie is going to stick into retirement. Anthony, you're going for an interim. Carl, you think we're going to stick with Ole? So do you, Chalex. And Aaron, you think they'll keep Ole until the summer. And Mike, so do you. A lot of you, I would say the majority of you talking here and saying you probably would expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to stay. I think we will know if Solskjaer is the manager against Watford, Solskjaer will be the manager until the end of the season. That's my opinion. Said it out loud. It's kind of what opinions are. But yeah, I think if United are going to get that interim manager, if United are going to do anything, it's going to be in that international break that we've got coming up in 3 bloody days. I am so bored. So bored of international breaks and so bored of Manchester United being like Manchester United are, right? It's painful. Painful. We all deserve a bit better, man. Mark saying, hi, Sam. We need a CDM in January and give Ole until the end of the season. Let me know in the comments, type yes or no. Do you think United will actually get that central defensive midfielder in January? We all know we need it, but we needed it in the summer. We didn't get it. Is it going to be any different during January? You let me know. Why can't we get Carlos Queiroz as a coach? Is he still managing Iran? Let me have a look. Carlos Queiroz. Let's have a look. Teams coached Egypt. Oh, he's Egypt. I think he managed Iran before, didn't he? Let me have a look. Yeah, he did. But no, he's managed Iran, Colombia, and Egypt now. So he's currently the Egyptian manager. Would Carlos Queiroz come back in? Yeah, he could do. But I'm not sure whether my gut tells me that Manchester United's plans moving forward should not be looking backwards. So should not be looking at René Meulenstein, should not be looking at Carlos Queiroz, should not be looking at anything that has any sort of previous links to the club. I think this old boys concept has worked with Solskjaer in rebuilding certain things of the club, and he's done a lot of good. And that's what's really, really pissing me off about what I'm seeing at the moment, because I think Solskjaer is being hung out to dry by the board, and I think it's allowing a lot of his good work to start unraveling in terms of the mindsets of United fans, and it's going to start creating bad memories, and it's like the trifle on top of the cake. Even though like the custard's good and the biscuit base is good and a little bit of the cream's good, you're starting to get some shitty things on top that really are going to get remembered first and foremost with Solskjaer, and that shouldn't be the case. Glenn, you've entered the draw, sir. Good luck on winning this on Friday. Really nice, by the way. I really like. I don't know. I'm not really. I can't tell you the last time I bought a kit other than this for giveaway. I really like the font on that. I don't know why, but I really do. Thought I'd let you know. Really boring conversation, isn't it? What about Ryan Giggs, says Mario? I don't think, as I said, I don't think United will be looking backwards to go forwards. Go up here and see what you're thinking. We need someone fresh and not from the past, says Mo. That's what I believe. Nikhil, you're saying that Kessie is available for cheap in January. He is available for cheap in January. Kessie is available on a free in the summer. And I've told you I'm going to do this video at some point. That free agent 11 looks dirty. There are so many good players going to be available free. Ian, what's the sub count you're asking? We'll do that on Friday, sir. Bring that up. In fact, no, stud it. Let's do it today. Let's see if we can't hit a milestone whilst we're live on the stream together. That's what it's all about, isn't it? As always, keep firing your questions in. Keep firing your comments. We're not finished yet. Let's see if we can. There you go. We can hit a milestone today. We are at. I'm waiting for the analytics to load up. Let's see if we can hit 210. Let's see if we can get 30 subscribers. See if we can hit 210, 250. Can we hit 250 on this live stream? If you are new, welcome to United People's TV. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. As I say, I pride myself on the fact that truly this is the most interactive community that exists on YouTube and Facebook for Manchester United. You're a massive part of it. You are the part of it. That's why I'm doing these giveaways. That's why I've got a big space on the wall there. You can't see it now, but I'm going to do something there. I might get a bit of fan art there. You're firing in your ideas to me. But if you are new, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Join the United People's TV family. Let's make it bigger and better together. What is the 210K giveaway? We still haven't decided. I've had a good idea about that, Jason, but don't worry. I'm probably going to reveal it on the stream on Friday. So Friday is going to be a good stream. We're going to be doing the giveaway for this Ronaldo shirt on the stream on Friday. We're going to be doing the announcement for the 210,000 subscriber giveaway. And any ideas you've got that you'd like to get, I don't know, you want to get involved in the channel, you've got an idea for a video, you just want to send me a tweet. I'll send my Twitter account in here. My DMs are always open, all right? So if you need someone to speak to, anything at all, my DMs are open. I don't know. I've always done it. It's a bit risky considering I do get spammed quite a lot, but I like doing it just in case people want to contact me and want to get involved. It's nice. I think so anyway. Michael is saying if they keep him until January, Man United will still be loosening Mark and sack him now before. Oh my God, I can't really understand that comment. Sorry, sir. Why not convince Zidane for the interim manager? Do you think? No, I don't think there's any chance of that. Mike, you're saying, how do I join the WhatsApp group? If you go onto the YouTube community tab, Mike, you watch on YouTube? Yeah, you are. Go onto the community tab. You go onto the channel, then hit the community tab. Look in there. There is a link to the WhatsApp group in there, sir. Why is Ole not using Sancho? I don't know, mate. I really don't know. It's a bit weird now. I don't know whether he's booted his dog or something like that, or he's offended him. Seriously, bit odd. I want to see buy more, says Jake. I think everyone wants to see everything. And you're saying, Sam, if you want a brilliant artist for some work, search my mate. Okay, I'll have a look at him on Facebook. As I said, I'm going to be looking at United artists. There's a lot of really, really good United artists I know from the community. I'm probably going to be looking inside that rather than an artist outside of the United community. I want to sort of, keep it inside the community. It's what we're all about. But hey, I didn't come on this stream today with any sort of, I don't know how to describe it. I knew it was going to be quite intense, but I tell you what, it's a credit to the community here. We've had a proper discussion here about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We haven't just been shouting and spewing and foaming at the mouth about Solskjaer with pitchforks out. It's not what we're doing. It's not what I'm doing. It's not why I'm titling the videos like I'm titling these videos. And the writing is on the wall. And I watched Spectre actually the other day. I've been rewatching all the James Bond films ahead of watching No Time to Die. No fucking spoilers in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to come through the comments. I won't punch you in the face. I can't do anything. But please don't. And the theme tune for Spectre is writing on the wall. So when I was doing a piece this morning on thepeoplesperson.com, I was listening to that and I was like, mate, the writing is on the wall. Paul, you've joined Paul Dando. You've joined as a member, sir. Good luck to you winning that shirt. But look, I'll wrap it up for today. I'm going to have another video out probably about 1 o'clock. I'm not sure what it's going to be on yet. I might do it on Scholes and Rio Ferdinand's comments about Maguire and Scholes because I thought they were very important, quite significant. I may also do it on a wider topic about Solskjaer, about the concept of the interim manager. There's lots and lots and lots to discuss. There really is. Lim, Mike, you're saying, Sam, I also subscribe United Stand, and Mark is very critical of Ole. Look, I think everyone's critical of Ole at this stage. Not everyone's critical of Ole. You long time subscribers here of United People's TV. You've seen how I've unraveled. You saw, I mean, I've had to come out and defend Solskjaer so many times in the face of serious adversity. And I've done it. And I was there in the corner. I was there. I was in the trenches. I was there just punching people away, fighting people, saying, "No, piss off. You're going over the top," headbutting. And then after the Liverpool game, I couldn't personally do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. And it's I never want to do it in a disrespectful way. I don't want to chase anyone with a pitchfork. Solskjaer does not deserve that. And that sort of abuse he does not deserve. But what he also does not deserve, in my opinion, is being hung out to dry by the club. And that's what I'm witnessing at the moment. A manager out of his depth, but a manager not being relieved from his duties because the club have not got a plan. So what I'm going to be doing here on this channel, let's see what goes on in the next couple of days. I'm not going to do anything there, but I don't think that's going to be a very good result against City. I'd love to be proven wrong. Love nothing more than to be proven wrong. But during that international break, I'm going to be doing some serious research into interim managers, into what could happen next, into maybe assistant manager. There's so many conversations that we need to have, even if the club are not. But thank you all very much for joining in this morning. I love this community that's getting built. It really is fantastic. Thank you all for every single member who's joined. Good luck to you in winning this on Friday. One more time. I need to just hold it up there permanently. No, let's not do that. But this guy, the greatest of all time. And I don't want to hear otherwise. His 2 goals last night were absolutely sensational. And that second one, absolutely no right. 0 right to take on that volley. From that position at that time, 0 right. And to finish it, it's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Ronaldo keeping us in the Champions League. Without his goals, we would already be out of the Champions League. And we'd be humming the bloody Europa League theme tune already. We've got now a game against Villarreal. If we win away from home, we go through to the knockouts. Let's see what goes on next. We've got City coming up first. Thank you all very much for joining in this morning. Thank you all very much for your comments. It was actually a really good stream. Really respectful comments. Big up to all of you. That's why it's a good community. Nice and respectful. But at the same time, we all know what we want. We can have a conversation about it. So today was a little therapy session after that. Yesterday, I went in with serious confidence to that game. And look how that worked out. So maybe I'll try the reverse psychology for the City game on Saturday. And I'll tell you what, I'm not looking forward to that City game. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining in. Check out my video later on. And if you don't know, by the way, I always do a couple of shorter videos on Facebook every single day. Some Facebook exclusive content. So if you want some more, make sure you check the Facebook page out. Until next time, though, take it easy, everybody. And I'll see you later on. Thanks for joining in.